Once you're gone, you're never going to be here again in this body, in this situation that you have right now. So why would you ever throw away any of the time that you have here? I don't really know how to start this one. I was just editing a video and I had to pause because I got emotional. And I got emotional because I had a moment where I just felt like, wow, I've made it. And I wanted to sit in that feeling because I don't think it's a feeling that we experience very often. And it's definitely not a feeling that we sit in for a long time. But we work so hard and we spend so much time trying to get there, pushing, chasing the goal. And we never stop to acknowledge that we are in the goal, that we have reached the goal. It's like when you're training for something and then you do the competition, it's like, okay, yay, I did it. But it's like, okay, yay, I did it. What next? It's a fleeting moment. You're trying to get a job. You get the job. Yay. What next? Oh, I start the job. Now I'm complaining because I'm tired. My boss is bothering me. Whatever. Oh, I need to make more money. Oh, you make more money. You upgrade your life. Oh, I need to make more money. It's like this never-ending cycle of a moving goalpost. And I don't want to spend my whole life chasing the goalpost and never stopping to acknowledge I reached the goalpost. I may set a new goalpost. I'm going to set a new goalpost because I don't believe in being stagnant. I don't believe in complacency. I'm going to set a new goalpost. But you have to acknowledge that you reached the original goalpost. And as you continue to reach new goals, your goals are going to continue to expand because you are becoming a new version of yourself who has new capabilities, new interests, new goals, new challenges that you need to overcome. That's what life is. That's never going to stop happening. But that doesn't mean that you don't acknowledge that you've made it, that you've reached success, that you've reached the goal. And I think just now when I was editing that, I just had to pause and be like, oh my God, I'm living the life I've always dreamed of living. I'm doing everything I said I wanted to do. I'm doing everything I set out to do that I've been trying to do since I was a kid, since I was 5 years old. Actually, since I wasn't even 1 year old, because my mom she established some goals for me before I could even talk. That did stick, and they stuck with me for my life. So I guess that worked out. But you spend your whole life envisioning what it will be like when you reach success, envisioning what it will be like when you finally get the job, when you finally get the house, when you finally get the friends, when you finally get the relationship, when you finally get the money. And what we don't account for in that is that our needs and desires are going to continue to expand with us. So the need for more, the want for more never goes away. And I think that's beautiful. That is a part of life. You die, you're dead if you're not continuing to grow. You might as well die. Why are you still here if you are not continuing to expand yourself? You get one life. And once you're gone, you're never going to be here again in this body, in this situation that you have right now. So why would you ever throw away any of the time that you have here? and allow yourself to just sit and become stagnant. That literally defeats the purpose of living. So continuing to have higher expectations of yourself is not something that you should penalize yourself for. That's not a negative. That is a positive. That is the whole point of life. However, two things can be true. You can continue to push yourself and want to grow and become better as a person, and realize that you're here. Realize that you did it. Realize that all of the work that you did and the foundational layers that you have laid over the years finally paid off and got you what you've always wanted. I know I have never stopped to acknowledge that. I do a great job at celebrating myself. I make it a priority to celebrate myself and to celebrate others. I think it's a huge, my family raised me that way. We never let an accomplishment go by without celebrating. I think every little win deserves a celebration. But even in celebrating those, I still get lost in the feeling of, oh, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Look at so-and-so. Look at so-and-so. I still have so much more to go. I get so lost in that feeling. And this was the first time that I've been like, wow, I'm here. I did it. Look around. Look where I live. Look what I'm doing with my life. Look at my friends. I did it. I'm 34 years old, and I just had this conversation with one of my friends last week. She just bought a house, and she's established in her career, and the two of us have really been talking about, like, we're both single. What does our life look like from here? And she said something along these lines to me in that conversation, like, we've been spending all this time building our lives. Like, we have the life now. Like, this is our life now. We don't have to build it anymore. Like, yeah, we can continue to build, and hopefully it gets better and better as time goes on. But we built it. We're here. Now how do we enjoy it? How do we find ways to enjoy our life? And I think the two of us, especially, are people who have always enjoyed life. I love the challenges and the ups and downs. Like, I think all of that is beautiful. And we take trips and we go out and we do it along the way. So we've always enjoyed life. But I think there's a difference between enjoying life in your 20s and then enjoying life in your 30s, when it's like, I'm established. I'm sitting on a beautiful round swivel chair instead of an IKEA futon. Like, I'm here. I am now investing in my life. Like, this is the life that I have built. This is no longer a temporary thing I'm passing through. Like, maybe I'll upgrade again at some point. I'm sure I will. But it is an interesting mindset shift to go from your teens, when you're trying to get into college, trying to build, your 20s, grinding in your career, trying to set the stage, saving, retirement, all these things. Like, your 20s are such an important decade because it sets you up for the rest of your life. What you do in your 20s lays the foundation for the rest of your life. And that's not to say if you slacked off in your 20s, it's too late to ever get anything done, but like, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier if you took your 20s seriously and set yourself up for success then. And moving from your 20s to your 30s is like the shift from building to enjoying. Like, if I was a contractor, I spent all my 20s building the house, and now I'm 30, I get to move into the house. And then maybe when I'm 40, I upgrade the house. You know, it's a never-ending cycle, but it feels so good to look around and just be like, everything I've ever wanted, everything I've ever strived for, everything I've ever envisioned, I now have. Like, I used to lay in bed in my last apartment and envision myself in like a spacious bedroom, and I would do my manifestation of my morning routine, which was, I would wake up, I would roll out of bed, I would get onto the ground and do a little journaling exercise sitting next to my bed, and then I would do a yoga flow looking out the window and meditate while my dog is running around. No dog yet. While my dog is running around. And I never did any of that in my old space. And that is my morning routine now. That is my morning routine here. I didn't even consciously start doing that. I just did the routine. And then today I was like, oh my God. I manifested this. Like this was what I used, this right now is what I used to sit and envision and manifest. This right now. And now I'm doing it. And I didn't even realize it. And it's like, that is the little things that we just take for granted so much. So I just wanted to encourage you to take a minute to pause. I don't know where you're at in your life. You may be here. You may be still on the climb. We're all still on the climb, but you may be on the climb to the first, to the first plateau, the first platform. I don't want to call it a plateau because I'm not plateauing. I'm still going up. But you may still be on the climb to the first platform. You may already be at the platform. But when you get there, or if you are there, like, seriously take a second to look back and think, like, is this what I've been chasing this whole time? Because I have it now. Because I have it now. And that's not something you should let go unnoticed. All right. Back to editing, and don't forget to like and subscribe.